What's going on, guys? Noah Sanford here, coming back at you with the Thursday fishing report as usual. Going to keep today's episode nice and brief to get you guys out there ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out there on Lake Mead. So let's just jump right into it as usual. Before we jump into it, I do want to let you guys know that we do have merch available now, so definitely check it out in the first link in the description. We've got hats, shirts, sweatshirts, all sorts of good stuff. So if you guys want any Las Vegas sport fishing merch, check it out, first link in the description. Going right into it with the weather conditions for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The weather actually looks pretty dang good for all 3 days. So all 3 days are actually going to not even get into the triple digits. Shocker, right? We have this big monsoon roll over right now. In fact, it's nice and kind of windy and humid right now because we're barely getting that tail end of the storm right now. But nice big monsoon rolled through Vegas yesterday and today. What does that mean? It's going to cool those temps down. But the flip side of that is it's going to bring all that humidity in. So even though it's not going to be as hot temperature-wise, it is going to be way more humid. So it doesn't really make a difference in the long run. But either way, the weather's going to be pretty nice. Mid to low 90s for the weekend temperatures out there on Lake Mead. Wind conditions look really good too. All 3 days are supposed to be just gorgeous in the morning. I don't even think the gusts are above like 8 or 10. Constants of like 2 to 5. Mornings for all 3 days are going to be pretty much glass flat as long as the weather does what it says it should. And then the afternoons, all three are going to be a bit breezy with the constants in the teens, gusts in the low 20s, but that's a typical summer afternoon pretty much every single day. So make sure to get out there in the morning if you can. If you can only go in the afternoon, you should still be all right though, unless you're going out on like a kayak in the middle of the afternoon. That's kind of the only time I would say not to get out there. But let's go ahead and talk about what I've been catching these fish on this last week. So really, guys, the pattern's been very, very similar. Most of the fish we've been catching have been bait feeding fish. So I'm finding those schools of bait and I'm finding those areas that are filled with that bait fish, and not only bait fish, but crawdads as well. I've seen a lot of fish spitting up not only shad, but crawdads too. So they're still feeding on a good mix of the two things, you know. I tell people all the time who come out here and come to Lake Mead, man, people throw all these different crazy lures that look like Christmas tree ornaments or all this crazy stuff and these yellows and blues and oranges and all these weird colors. And at the end of the day, guys, what do these fish eat? 99% of the time they eat shad and they eat crawdads. So simplifying has been the key for me. Really just go out there and throw those natural looking baits that look like the stuff that they eat. And what do you know? You get bit. So I go out there and throw those two types of lures. Early morning topwater, of course. The topwater has been slower for the last week or two because we've had this big giant bright moon. Now that that moon's starting to go away and we're getting some of this cloud coverage, I think that Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to present some awesome opportunities for some good early morning topwater strikes. Same thing as that sun gets up, move to that mid water column for a little bit, and then that's really where I'm going to start dropping down closer to the bottom, come 7 or 8 o'clock. And what you'll notice if you're using sonar electronics too is that's what's happening as well, is that bait will be up shallow. It's getting pushed up shallow in the morning by those fish. By the time that sun gets up, that bait drops down into 15, 20, even 30 feet. So keep an eye on that as you're out there this weekend. Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as you're fishing wherever you are throughout the lake. And that's really about it, guys. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Go out there, don't overthink it. Throw that stuff that looks like shad and crawdads, those reaction baits in the morning, and then drop down to that deeper water in the afternoon. When it comes to the areas, like I said, it's not the spot, it's the conditions. So if you've got that really good spot from 3 or 4 months ago, and then you go out there and that spot's dry, it's because there's no bait fish or there's no crawdads, there's no food source. So if you're gonna go out there, I would focus more on the food source rather than the location. And if you can find both, you're golden. So appreciate you guys always watching. My name is Noah Sanford. We'll see you guys out on the water.